and our world is going to be changed. We're going to be in a new America when I come back next Wednesday at 12 noon and announce who our president of the United States is going to be. Where are you? Have you voted? Have you early voted in your state? Are you waiting? Click on and tell us what you're doing. Click on the Millennium News 24. Let us know how you're feeling out there. Let us know what is going on in your neck of the woods. How are the people feeling? Because we're going to go over some of that today. Because, I found out the other day I might have been at a Nazi rally. And I didn't know it, right? So I didn't know it. Black woman queen at the Nazi rally, and it was all love. And so I don't know what the new American Nazis look like, but I'm going to go with the ones at MSG because it was pure love. Now, don't get me wrong. There was, I don't know what to call him, Kill Tony, the guy who ran the podcast. He was the opener and he bombed. Okay, let's just say it nice and sweet. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know who his audience was. He didn't know where he was. Okay, and he said that Puerto Rico, in a jokingly fashion, is a floating pile of garbage. Right? Okay, so this is what's going on. Now Hispanics all over the country are taking back their vote from President Trump because of this little dude. Now, I was sitting right there, and our guest today, Darius Mayfield, we'll talk about that. I was sitting right there, and I felt some type of way. I can't say that I didn't feel some type of way because I felt some type of way. And then he also made a remark about black people, and it was a guy kind of jumping out of his seat excited because the energy was crazy, and he wanted to quell that because I didn't see that guy after that. And I hope this guy really rethinks his comedian jokes and everything like that because it was horrible. He said to the guy, first he says, oh, what, you got a lampshade on your head? And everybody's kind of like, nah, this is not the place for that. And then he said, oh, no, I was hanging out with him last night and we carved watermelons. Oh, totally tasteless, totally not the place for it. And I'm going to agree with my guy, Guardian Angel Curtis Siwa. Today on 77 ABC, he talked about, was this a DNC plant? Did the DNC pay him to blow the spot up? Because if you are a comic in this nature, and they said that he had did what's this guy the football player, he did his roast not too long ago, and he was horrible. He was talking about Giselle. What's my guy's name? His name is not getting me, but he talked about Giselle. He said some horrible things. Okay, so this is the type of comic he is. He wasn't funny to us. I'm not going to put that on Trump. Trump didn't know what was going on. And here is our guest right now, Mr. Darius Mayfield. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm wonderful. It's glad to see you again in the land of the living and the land of Trump country. So let me preface this with Darius and I met 2016 in a random place, right? We were two young black Republicans looking to make a change for America back in 2016 when President Trump first originally was running for office. We were on a show, the Larry Wilmore show, with Larry Wilmore on Comedy Central, and they brought us in as a joke. Remember this, Darius?
Yeah,
they brought us in as a joke. It was only 6 of us, right? They could only get 6 of us in the New York region to sit down and say that we're open to having a conversation with President Trump. Now that moment since has went viral, right? And Now, what we talked about, Darius, oh, so great, because then and there we were like the laughing stock, or they wanted us to be the laughing stock at what we knew would happen. And so now let me bring you into what happened at MSG. Now, how do you feel about that? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you got going on and your feelings.
All right. Well, listen, my name is Darius Mayfield. I am your official Republican nominee in New Jersey's 12th Congressional District, which comprises of the counties of Union County, Somerset County, Middlesex County, and Mercer County. Mercer County is home to Trenton, New Jersey, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of and know about. And in 2022, when I ran for this seat the first time around, I went to Trenton, New Jersey, where there's over 95% Black and brown Democrats that reside there, and knocked on over 6,000 doors. 6,000 doors that my opponent, Bonnie Watson Coleman, refused to knock on. In fact, one day after we started knocking on doors, she sent a van there with her team. They rolled the window down a little bit and threw candy out the window in the projects. But me and my team, comprised of a lot of different Americans, Spanish Americans, white Americans, Black Americans, were inside the towers, inside the projects, knocking on doors, talking to seniors, things of that sort. Fast forward a few weeks in 2022, and on the election day in 2022, I became the first county in American history to have every single Dominion machine shut off on the day of election. And that was in Mercer County, right? And exactly. And, you know, it just goes back to what you were talking about before, and us being a laughing stock and people saying the things that we're saying are conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But when it actually happens to you in real time, lowly old me, somebody that's never ran for office before, had no political experience or backing, just went out there and talked to the people, and they felt it necessary to do something like that, just shows you how right the path is that we're actually on, and that we've been since, as you said, 2016, when I cast the first vote ever in my life, when I casted my vote for Donald Trump, and that was my first time ever voting.
Wow.
Now you fast forward, 6, 7 years, we're here now, and as you said, I was at MSG with you on Sunday, and let me just tell you, I mean, we had 20,000 plus people inside the venue. It was packed out, not a seat open. What all predictions right now is there is another anywhere from 40 to 70,000 people outside the venue that day. We don't know, but we do know that over 200,000 requests were actually put into the campaign and the administration to go there. And this was in the dark, dark, dark blue center of New York City. And, this is just where I saw things come into fruition even in 2016 when we first met. This is who I saw Donald Trump being, a very pragmatic man. He's probably the most pragmatic man, pragmatic president we've had in my lifetime, at least a man that comes from New York City, as we said, a very blue town, but, understands and knows both sides of the fence. And that's why you can see him be so pragmatic in his policies, in his approach, in the people that he campaigns for, in the communities that you see him going to now, places that we haven't traditionally seen Republicans go, just like I did in 2022 when I went to Trenton, New Jersey, and Plainfield, New Jersey. Now, as far as the MSG, and I know it's a very hot topic, and, what's going on with the comedian, listen. One, I come from New York, New Jersey, so as I always tell people, even Donald Trump and how braggadocious he was, hyperbolic he was, and things like that, it never bothered me. That's how we are. We're from the East Coast. I also think it took somebody from the East Coast to do what Donald Trump has been doing and stand up and face what's going on, because we are that tough. We are those people in real life. But as far as the actual comedian, I see it from both sides. Obviously, it probably was the wrong venue to say jokes like that. And mind you, while they're talking about the Puerto Rican joke, as you said, he made black jokes, he made gay jokes, he made all types of jokes. And me personally, it may have not personally bothered me, but I can see the argument that at a political rally, you shouldn't be telling those kind of jokes. So what happened the day after? The Trump campaign announced what he said, and then the actual comedian came out and apologized for what he said, because it said it was the first time he had done a political event. He probably used the wrong choice of, comedy, and he didn't understand the gravity of the situation because he had never, actually performed at a political event before. So I like to take everything in context and look at things, and this is what I do know. There's a reason why the only thing that they can say about that rally or say about Donald Trump right now is trying to pin it on him saying it. You know, the next day, one of my boys hit me up and they said, my friend just hit me up and said, Donald Trump said something about Puerto Rico. It wasn't even Donald Trump that actually said it, but that's how the media is spinning it. That's how they're propagating it. And the fact that that's the only thing that they can say lets you know just how bad they're losing right now, how scared they are. Right now, Donald Trump is receiving record black vote, record Hispanic vote, record male vote. Right now, you see early voting in almost every state in the country reaching record levels because Republicans are coming out, something I've been telling Republicans to do since 2020 when we were revolting against it because they thought it was cheating and stuff like that. I get it, but you actually have to get the power in order to wield the power and change the legislation and change the laws, you know, so we do go back to a constitutional republic. So I'm glad to see them out there, and Donald Trump right now is up in every single swing state, and we know this one thing, just like they did in 2016, just like they did in 2020, all the polls always underestimate Donald Trump. I happen to think that this is going to be a Reagan-esque victory all across this country, and he's going to help lift people like me to the House of Representatives.
Yeah, I am begging for that to happen at this point, and I'm so glad that you're joining us today because I didn't even know that you were in Trenton. Like, you know, I go into these hardcore places and turn these Democrats Republicans, okay? But, you know, what is it that people need to understand about you as a black man, as a black Republican? What is it that they need to understand about you?
Well, listen, my motto is not black, not white, American. We are all Americans. I'm all about unity. I come from the most diverse state in the entire country, which is probably why racial jokes and stuff like that don't necessarily bother me because we deal with those on a daily basis, and we all do it. It's funny watching some of my Puerto Rican friends and stuff say things about what happened. I'm looking at them like, what about that black joke you were laughing at or told just a couple months ago when I was talking to you? Like, that's just kind of, you know, that's the American way in a sense. And again, I do understand, you know, people that, you know, didn't, you know, necessarily care for that at a political event, but you know, I come from the most diverse state in the entire country. One of my counties, Middlesex County, is the most diverse county in the entire state. We have record amount of Jews in our state, the second most after Florida, the second most of Cubans after Florida. So we have a lot of diversity here. So when I talk about unity, when I talk about not black, not white American, it's not just lip service like you hear from some of these political figures. It's actually the way I lived. It's actually the way I was bred. It's actually the way I live my life every single day. And part of the reason why I jumped into politics because especially in 2016 when Trump started running, the way our elected officials talk so disparagingly about their constituents, not necessarily Donald Trump because he's in their arena, you know what, he can take it and he'll keep going, but talking about their actual constituents, quote unquote MAGA or Trump voters and supporters. And I just thought that was unbecoming of elected officials because no matter what our differences are politically, once you're elected to an office like that, it is your job to actually govern for all people. Otherwise, it's a straight dereliction of duty. And watching that is why we've seen our country just tear so much further and further and further apart because you literally have people in leadership positions, in power. I mean, look at what Joe Biden said after they're excoriating the comedian and what he said. The next day, Joe Biden goes public and says that all MAGA supporters, all Trump supporters are garbage, right? So this is just a back and forth of really insanity in a lot of ways, and people being really disparaging towards everyday regular Americans. And there's no wonder why the policies that they've been passing, the way that they govern, is not taking care of Americans and America first. Because at the end of the day, if they're that willing to disparage us and, you know, exclude half the country from normalcy, well, at the end of the day, they can't be there for you. They're not going to pass legislation to make sure this country is strong, make sure its people are progressing and getting the best education, getting the most quality health care, making sure our border is protected so we don't have millions upon millions of illegal migrants, and especially violent criminal illegal migrants, as we've learned. Now we've learned that over 500,000 of those illegal migrants are here, have criminal convictions. Over 12,000 of them were convicted of murder. Over another 12,000 of them were convicted of egregious assaults and things of that sort. This is not okay. So we wonder why we have the problems we have in Aurora, Colorado right now, where they're taking over apartment buildings, buildings. Chicago, Illinois right now, where they're taking over apartment buildings and fighting with the black gangs. New York City, where you reside. Now reaching to New Jersey, Washington, D.C., L.A. So people are tired of these things, and these are the things that I talk about when I go out and talk to people. I don't talk about the divisiveness. I don't talk about, this one being that or this one being this, the gossip and name calling and things of that sort. I focus on the issues, and when people get down to the issues, as I've been telling people for 6-7 years now, Republicans have the issues. Education, we want to make sure all communities have access to quality education and school choice, no matter your socioeconomic status, no matter what zip code you come from. We want to make sure there's economic equality. That means bringing back those 2017 Trump tax cuts and making them permanent, not just for small businesses and big businesses, but for middle-class Americans, for lower-class Americans. We want to make this country energy dominant again, so our prices and inflation start to come down in this country, especially for those people that live in places like New York City, Trenton, New Jersey, Plainfield, New Jersey, those underserved communities where people are literally drowning because of inflation and the price of energy right now. And lastly, we want to make sure we focus on our national security. That means securing our border. That means deporting illegal immigrants that came here illegally, starting with those criminal convictions, those that are violent, getting all of them out of this country to protect our citizens, our grandmothers, our aunties, our children, and things of those sort, and then going from there and deporting even more to make sure we can return the resources back to American citizens. The craziest thing I think I've heard and seen are in places like Chicago and Aurora, Colorado, where they're telling us our regular everyday law-abiding American citizens are going into the welfare office and they're seeing lines upon lines upon lines of illegal migrants, and they can no longer get access to their resources that they paid in for all these decades. So the difference between myself, my opponent, and others that have been in this political machine for decade upon decade is I actually care. I'm a regular guy. I'm a businessman. I'm a business owner. I care about all people. I come from the most diverse state in the actual country, and everything I do once in the House of Representatives will reflect that in great ways, and we will make this country and the world great again.
I love it. And just by the way, I'm originally from New Jersey. You made me all hype to be like, I'm from New Jersey too.
I forgot everybody from Jersey.
Right. I'm originally from Cherry Hill. So, okay, on the other side, which is very diverse, which makes me the same as you, where, hey, I got pretty tough skin because I'm going to say a couple things myself. But
exactly.
But let me ask you, when you see the Barack Obamas, when you see the D.L. Hugleys, when you see, pretty much everybody with all hands on deck, with now sitting down with the black man and chastising him about why he's not allowed to vote for anybody but Kamala, how does that make you feel? And how do we get them out of the shame mode? And how do we say that's not it?
Well, I can tell you this, let's specifically talk about Obama, right? And I'll tell you a story. When I first started going to Trenton, New Jersey back in 2022, I walked into a Dunkin' Donuts and we were passing out flyers, and, some people were taking them, some people weren't, especially once, they found out people are just not, they feel disenfranchised. They're just not involved in politics anymore. A lot of people just don't care. So I started having a couple of conversations with people there. One gentleman came in and started asking me questions. He found out that I was a Republican, and he basically said that, listen, all Republicans not all Republicans, all politicians are bad, and none of them are doing anything for us. We started talking about Obama, and what I said to him is, listen, I understand that Barack Obama is not an FBA. He's not a foundational black American. That's why when I refer to Barack Obama, I refer to him as the first president of color, not the first black president of this country. Sure. And I sit here and I wonder sometimes, why is the first two people of color that are nominees of the Democratic Party both people that don't have parents that are native black people of this country? Right. There is a reason for that. And, it's no wonder that both Kamala and Barack Obama have publicly stated that they cannot individually do anything for just the black community. Well, let me tell the black community something. I'm a Republican. I'm a foundational black American, and I can do things just for you because you deserve it, right? And that's what we need to make sure we are pushing. That is the message that we need to push. People like Barack Obama and Kamala Harris, they haven't gone through our struggle. Their family haven't gone through our struggle. They don't understand it. They didn't grow up with us. They didn't grow up in our conditions. They don't understand who we are. And when I was telling that story, when I started to say those things, this man looked at me and he started jumping up and down and yelling and said, He gets it. This is our guy. He gets it. That's how people feel in the hood. Unfortunately, what I found when knocking on doors in Trenton, New Jersey, is that for so long, these people have felt so disenfranchised that they don't vote anymore. You know, my opponent, she goes into these communities and she co-ops very minority parts of these communities. In her case, it's the church community, which her husband used to be a pastor in Trenton, and it's the LGBTQ community. Those are the communities that she co-ops in order to get the minuscule amount of votes she does to actually win in this district. Because Mercer County has one of the lowest voter turnouts of any county in the entire state. So I went there and I started talking to those people that were disenfranchised, haven't voted for years, and really waking them up and letting them know who I am. And once they heard my story, they're like, this is our guy, a guy that comes from a single parent household, little sister, grew up on welfare, Section 8, everything like that, to making his own way, becoming the first black general manager at the third fastest growing auto group in the country, now has his own businesses. They respect that because they understand who I am. I'm a real black American that's going to stick up for real black issues, as well as real American white issues and Spanish issues and whatever else. But I can distinguish those things because I understand the history and know the history, and I can relate to those communities. So when Barack Obama stands up there and does these things, man, the majority of people, and there's no reason why you see so many black people leaving the Democratic Party and voting for somebody like a Donald Trump. And one of the encouraging things I've saw, while we're seeing all this record turnout and all these record voters come into the early balloting and the mail-in balloting, you know, for them to be, a lot of those people are first-time voters. And again, I think this is an awakening amongst those that have felt disenfranchised over the last few decades in this country. And that has great implications for myself, for Donald Trump, and other America First candidates all across this country. And I say candidates because I don't want to distinguish between Republican, Democrat. Listen, there's some good Democrats too. You know, we understand that, but they need to stand up and be proud and actually start talking how they really feel and not how the party's demanding that they talk. And that's why I was so proud in Chicago when I saw those aldermen go on TV and they said, listen, if you're a Republican, if you're an independent, this is the best time for you to come to the city of Chicago and try to run for office because we are tired of the Democratic plantation. So Barack Obama, man, we're not really listening. In the famous words of Joe Biden, come on, man, we're not really listening to this guy. It was an insult and a slap in the face, you know, to black men when he said that. But this is what the Democratic Party has become known for. When they sit up there and call Donald Trump Hitler, and they call him, you know, the new Nazi and stuff like that, that's a slap in the face to Jewish people. The Jewish people that went through a massacre where 8 million people were killed by this man that they are comparing the next president of the United States to. And all you have to do is look no further than 5 years ago. Donald Trump was already president in this country when they were calling him Hitler and all this stuff before. We didn't see any Hitler-esque behavior. In fact, we saw the first president in over 40 years not to start or initiate any new wars. We saw record low unemployment between black people, women, Asians, and Hispanics. We saw the first sign of real wage gain in this country without inflation stifling it for the first time in decades. So people understand. I don't think a lot of people are even listening to the Barack Obamas of the world anymore. They're not really listening to these athletes and these, you know, celebrities anymore, especially not what's happening with Diddy, the owner of Abercrombie and Fitch, this one and that one, because all those conspiracy theories everybody was talking about for the last 5 or 6 years are starting to become eerily, you know, reminiscent of what people have been talking about for a long time. So this is our time. It's time to make America great again. And I'm so happy I met people like yourself and started doing what I did back in 2015 and 16 because we saw the writing on the wall, and we're going to pay big dividends for it this year.
Yes, I'm so happy. Do you love him, good people? I love him. Darius Mayfield, New Jersey, District 12. Is Highland in that as well?
Highland Park?
Highland, yeah.
No, that's where I went to high school, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, it was great to have you today, Darius. Good luck next week. And we got your back. Anybody that knows anybody in the counties, tell them the counties again, Darius.
The counties are Somerset County, Middlesex County, Mercer County, and Union County.
Okay. Anybody in those counties, give them a call. Said you heard about my homeboy Darius. He coming to town. This is your congressperson, and this is where we're opening doors and making things happen and making America great. If you don't think it's again, whatever, we gonna make it what it do, baby. So thank you so much, Darius. I will see and talk to you soon. Good luck in this next week. Let me know if you need some boots on the ground. I'm out there with you, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
After this, we're going to go to a commercial really quick and come back after, you guys giving you guys a good, thought about what's out here. Now, I hope with this new American perspective, you're seeing we got people on the ground. We got strong people in the Republican Party. Things have to change. Millennium News 24. I'm your host, Jania Butler, the New American Perspective, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the New American Perspective. I'm your host, Jania Butler, and we got 6 days before our world changes. And I am nervous. How do you feel? I feel some type of way. I am beside myself. Let me tell you about the rally at MSG. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was ballsy because there hasn't been done for the Republicans in a very long time. I think they said Reagan did something there. They likened it to the 1939 Nazi rally. They will use anything. And that's what I am scared of going forward. But now your girl, Kamala, she came back with the Freedom Rally on the National Mall, the same place that they did the January 6th. They are just trying to do the Jedi mind trick on everybody. And that's what makes me nervous, people. Why are you going through all of this stuff? You going to stand where Donald Trump stood with the January 6th, with the insurrection, and with all of this that y'all done made up? I don't know. Like Darius said, Trump is leading in all the swing states. Thank God. I'm nervous. But she came back. They said there were 75,000 people on the mall. Where did they come from? I don't know. I think far and wide. She also had Beyonce show up last week. Did y'all hear about that? B and Kelly showed up. Kelly showed up in the big Steve Harvey suit, the big, I don't know what to call it, the box suit. I didn't like it. They're saying that the new fad is the baggy clothes like that. I can't do it right now, ladies. I just can't do it. But Beyonce showed up, and Kamala did not know they wanted her to sing. She came out, she said that she's the mother and she's all this XYZ stuff. Listen, I'm tired of it. These celebrities do not have the same issues that we do. So when they come out, they need to be speaking for their celebrity friends, because they're not speaking for us, because they can handle inflation. They can handle high gas prices. They don't need a job. They don't need the things that we do. So who are they to come out and say, well, this is the right person for the job? How do you know? What do you know about politics to be standing up somewhere talking about this is the right person for you? And who are you to sit every black man down and tell them Trump didn't give you the stimulus? Maybe that's not why we want to vote for him. Just because you asked a couple people in the hood and they don't know what to say, now you're going to act like all we care about is a stimulus check. We want our communities to change. We want it to stop. We want the shooting, the drugs, everything to stop. Stop it. If you're so big in the bad, you're going to talk about vote all the way down blue. But we ain't talked to nobody. You got celebrities running out here. Just vote blue. Just vote blue. How dare you say something like that? What do you mean? So don't talk to anybody. Don't say nothing, because none of these senators, congresspeople, attorney generals, Anybody who else is running, have you heard from them? Have you heard any sounds? Because they're trying to use the top of the food chain, which is Vice President Harris, to get the vote all the way down blue. That is not what somebody should be telling you about voting. And if they are, they're tricking you. It's a Jedi mind trick. I don't care how many sessions that they have. Oh, well, sitting down Jermaine Dupri after he done said something. They done sat everybody down and put their cross in their hands and said, I don't want no smoke. So I'm going to sit here and tell my people what they wanted to know. What's wrong with that picture, ladies and gentlemen? We can't go like this. We cannot go on like this. So 50 Cent the other day said Trump asked him, was going to give him $3 million to show up. 50 said, oh, no, I don't know about it, 50. He was a little stuttering. Go back and look at that. 50 was a little stuttering, but he's held and maintained because we called him a while back. I don't think Trump is begging now, but we called him a while back and asked him to come on out to speak for us. And 50 made a good point. And I think he makes a good point about celebrities in politics. He said that no matter what your decision is, somebody is going to be seriously mad at you for that decision. So he likes to stay out of it. Respect due. And then your boy Joe Biden called Trump supporters garbage in response to the guy Kill Tony's messages at MSG. So first, I'm not black. Hillary called us deplorables. We're getting called all these names. Now, Joe Biden is saying that we're garbage. I'm garbage because I get to choose in America who I want to vote for. It sounds like the dictatorship is actually over there, good people. That's what it sounds like. Now, it is a tight... Now, it is a tight race, okay? Kamala pulled out of North Carolina, right? She pulled out $2 million ads in North Carolina. $2 million worth of ads in North Carolina. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean that they already succeeded in the state and they say, okay, this is not working, let's save her money because she spent $1 billion so far. That's $1 billion of other people's money that are expecting her to win. If I give you $1 billion, guess what? I'm going to need you to win. So this is where the desperation comes in because big people are giving money to the cause. They was mad at Elon for doing the $1 million a day. Now, I only heard one person getting $1 million, Elon. Let's get up on that. What happened to the rest of the people? Okay, Steve Bannon, your guy Steve Bannon just got out of prison, right? He did 6 months for contempt of court in the Congress. You remember he was caught lying to the Congress and said that Trump had the powers to make sure what was going on. I don't know what's happening. If you could see me or hear me. Yeah, I guess you could see me or hear me. I'm glad that he went to prison because he got the chance to talk to the blacks and Hispanics. And he said that he got his mind right talking to people and getting to know people and understanding what the black and Hispanic plight was about. So Steve Bannon is out now, a week away. Now that's dangerous. I don't know who said let Steve out a week because that's like a year for Steve. So we're going to see something coming down and trickling down from something that he learned in his cell during his 6 months. But congratulations, Steve. He did the 6 months. He said that he thought it was going to break him. They thought it was going to break him. He's back bigger than ever. He's on his toes. I want to see him. He was back on the War Room this week. Let's see what he's talking about. Donald Trump went on the Joe Rogan show. So there is a big, it's going, a lot of stuff is happening, okay? So Donald Trump went on Joe Rogan. He turned around and was supposed to meet with Kamala Harris. She only wanted to meet for an hour. He said no. All my guests are the same thing, because she was going to cut, bait, and switch and run. So they nixed that. But that's good, because I didn't want to hear that. I don't want to see. I don't like anybody fighting with her because she's a woman. I don't think because she's a woman, she's not ready to be the president. I think because of her experience and her particular skill set, she's not ready to be the president right now. Right now, it's more of on the fly, on the job training. You know, I'm only a candidate for 2 months, and I've got to tell everybody what they need to hear so I can win. That's not it. Nikki Haley came out and supported the president at MSG. And she was supportive, and I realized there was a lot of Nikki Haley fans at the Trump rally. And also Kennedy came out. And I think that this is amazing for a Kennedy to support a Republican. I mean, have we seen it in our life? Of course, the other Kennedys have denounced this one that was running for president and that got out the race and said, let me take my followers to Trump. This is good strategy. Now they say that he's going to be the health commissioner or something of that nature. But that's how it works. That's how politics works. Elon Musk was out there popping around the stage. You know, he could just, he should have brought the robot out. He should have brought Maximus out. What do you think? I think he should have brought Maximus out and let us see him at the rally versus that guy Kill Tony. They should have brought him out, and then there would be no peace. And so I got a kick out, and I always get a kick out of Hulk Hogan, right? He almost tipped over. You know, when he does his ear, he went like this, whoop, and almost tipped over, but he caught himself. Now, Hulk is 70, ripping up the shirt. He got to do a pre-rip before the full rip now. Before it was just full rip, muscles bust out. Now, there's a little pre-rip. He pre-rips and then he pulls it. And then, you know, when he does the earpiece, you know, and everybody's not excited because Hulk Hogan got caught either on a hot mic or he told somebody that he didn't want his daughter dating an N-word, okay? And so that's where he got caught out there. But it's always good to see you, Hulk. I know where we come from. I know that you took it back, all that stuff. Just watch your mouth, okay? So, and some other news, I just wanted to give you some other news as to what's going on around us, because I know the election, we are on pins and needles. We are in and out of our seats. I don't know what to do. We're all nervous. Please go out and vote. I can't stand to see the Democrats tell you, go out and vote. And you know who you should vote for. It's clear. What is clear? Is it clear that our communities have been the same way? Is that clear? Isn't it clear that they have been telling us and doing the same bit every time you consider and vote for somebody else? Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, let's talk about the black man. Oh, now, why wasn't you talking about the black man from the beginning? Why wasn't you schooling them from the beginning? Because they didn't count until they stepped up. Black men, step up. Be the head of this household. Be the head of the United States. Yet again, I'm rooting for you, black men. All you got to do is stand up and show your voice and to show these people it doesn't matter who they bring out. You have your own mind. We're not minuscule people. We don't have to be at the bottom of the barrel. Oh, Trump is not talking about diabetes in our community. Trump is not talking about a first-time home buyer. Trump is not talking about who wrote the check for the stimulus checks. We want opportunity. We want the American dream, and we want it now. And it's not coming from you. You got all of these little surrogate people running around, swear they know the way, swear they teaching us, and all they doing is keeping a job for themselves. That's all they're doing. No matter what you say, you go, you D.L. Hughley. He went from kissing Kamala's hands. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I said about you. You meant what you said, D.L. But now DL's in the front lines fighting back. Oh, I didn't know what I was talking about. And I really thought that she locked black men up. So who are the black men that are locked up in California? Nobody? California don't got to overrun prison population, overrun homeless? No, not there. Not in California, not where she was. Oh no, now make it pretty and clean. Now, but see, here's what the homies are the ones that are standing up. Because the homies knew that nobody came and got them. So let's be real. You're still not talking to the black men that's changing the way. Harry O, former founder of Death Row Records with Suge Knight, and he was up on the stage, and he's got his program, Community First. Shout out to Harry O for standing up, OG, standing up and saying, I'm going with Trump. Why is that not okay? Why are they not pulling Harry O over? They can't. They want black men to bend over. Stand up, black man. Continue to stand. We see you. We are depending on you. Depending on you to stand up and be the head of this household called the United States, black man. I am rooting for you. Okay. So let me calm down. We're going to go to a break real quick. Let me calm down because I am getting out of my seat. So we're going to go to a break. We're going to come right back here on Millennium News 24. I'm going to close out with other news that's going on and give you a break on this election. Join me, Geneva, for the New American Perspective every Wednesday at 12 noon for an in-depth look at education, politics, economics, and entertainment from Republican and conservative views. The first of its kind on the Millennium News 24 and the Millennium TV 24 network. We will conceptualize and debate the rights and wrongs of the society, and together we will build the new American perspective and share it with the rest of the world. You can tune in on all iOS and Android platforms, branded smart TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. If you're around the world, Horizon Satellite. If you're in Europe or Australia, the Sky Network. Tune in to MillenniumNews24.com, MillenniumTV24.com, all social media, Millennium News 24. We're live and have the podcast at the same time. I am a citizen, and this is our perspective. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the New American Perspective. I'm your host, Jania Butler, and I had to calm down for a hot second because it got me hot in here. I don't know what to do. I don't know where we're going. But listen, so for our last 15 minutes, let's talk about other stuff that's going on. What about the migrant gangs? The Tren de Aragua has 517 busts here in New York. Migrant gangs? Are you serious? I mean, I get it, but this is what they've allowed in America. Why? Because they are running us out of our community. They are running us away. Where are we going after this? where are we going? Where's our community going to stay? Where's our community going to live once now the migrants come in? They're getting the $350 in the week in New York. They're getting their quick vouchers. So all these people that have been homeless in New York, all these people that have been trying to get on their good foot, the migrants come in 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, this is what happens. Okay? How is that what's going on? Then we've got Adidas and Kanye West reach a settlement. Okay? That settlement, I don't know what it is, but it's very quiet. So Adidas and they all reach a settlement. Dwayne Wade got a statue he said, just like we said, who is that guy? So he got a statue of himself of one of his championship rings running, and the body of the statue looks nice. His face was a little crooked, but I'm not going to say anything, because if you go to my Hall of Fame plaque at Long Island University, hint, hint, you'll see my face looks weird in copper to Dwayne, so it's not just you. Okay, so in Daryl Penny is on trial for putting a man in a chokehold. If you remember, maybe a year ago, a guy was on a train, somebody, or maybe it was during COVID, I'm not sure how many years ago it was, but the guy was on a train. He tried to restrain somebody he thought was going to hurt people. He put him in a chokehold, and the guy died. Okay, so now the guy, he was a former military man, and he's on trial. He's on trial for murder. And some people say that he's an American hero. No, you cannot. The reason why we have police, the reason why we have to follow the laws, the reason why I cannot go and be a vigilante citizen that's helping the people, the Superman type, rest in peace DJ Clark Kent, the reason why we can't do that is because in situations like this, whose fault is it? He had no right to put his hands on the guy. The guy didn't hurt anybody. He's restraining him because the guy looked like he was doing something, but that's not for you to do. Okay, that's not it. Okay, so a lot of people are calling him an American hero, but not so fast. You can't, as a civilian, take the law into your own hands and cause a death that for the status and then say you want hero status after that. I don't believe he tried to kill him, but the man is dead. And so his family is now fighting for him, and that's where we're at with that. Every black man who wants to vote for Trump, do so, black man. That's what I'm telling you right now. Do so. Trump didn't give you stimulus checks. Doesn't matter. Do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because, here go the most qualified person. That is not who we're voting for when we're voting down the Democratic strip. That's not it. So she's the most qualified. What are you talking about? It's black and that's it. Man, get out of here with that. Leave my people alone with that. So there are a lot of other people running. You got the president, you got the Senate seats, you got the House of Representatives, you have some governors, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the local and state judicial people, but it's still reckless to say vote down the line. Okay? It's very, very reckless. So again, this is a tight race. It's going to be won in one of these swing states. Pennsylvania holding a lot of numbers. Trump is boasting that if he wins Pennsylvania, that he wins the race. So they're out in Pennsylvania. I've seen them out in Allentown. They're talking about stuff. The numbers are coming out. I mean, what I saw at MSG was so wonderful. It was all kinds of people. It was America. And everybody was in there for America. Nobody cared if you were black, white. I even saw some Chinese people. I didn't get that one. I didn't know if they were playing or what. But they was out there waving their flags, and they was Trump USA, Trump USA. I don't know, was it a trick? I don't know what it was, but I seen everything. Jews, everybody. There are some of the speakers that, may have could have toned it down and stuff like that and thought about the sound bites that Trump would have to go through to continue to win. But at the end of the day, the best chance in there was USA, USA, USA. And I even got a couple tears every once in a while, knowing that I was standing for something greater than myself. Me as a black woman, one of the few, and the black people that were out there, we all knew while we were there, we want to change. We all knew that our other people are being shamed and somehow we see through the way. We all know what's happening. Now we just gotta not want to be in this in club that is doing God knows what. We don't know what they're up to. They put Kamala in the position. When they talk about these DEI hires, I don't believe. That was another thing that Dr. Phil had said. Dr. Phil had talked about the DEI hires. Well, we're going to have to put them to the test. Politics, people, is not so much about what a group wants to do, but it's also about what that group wants to do and the group that's within that group that wants to challenge that group for what they want to do. They're talking about this DEI hires and all of this stuff. Well, then I want to see black people. I want to see colored people. I want to see all kinds of people that have worked their way up in the right position. Dr. Phil, Mr. Bully, Dr. Phil, because you can't say that DEI, which was affirmative action, they've been trying to get that away for years. I understand that they feel like it's unfair to them, but it's true. Can we trust you, white man, to hire people of color accordingly? Or are you going to look to your homeboy's son that just graduated Harvard and that had the best of everything to get them to the best of everything? Or are you going to look at the little man that's coming up the totem pole, the young black professional, the young Indian professional, the young Asian professional, the young Hispanic professional that's coming up the line to try to get to the American dream? Are you going to allow that to happen? If you say no in your heart, you don't have to say it out loud, then we need DEI. And maybe we call it something else since you don't like DEI. I don't want to be a DEI hire. I work hard for who I am in America. And guess what? America doesn't give it to me simply and easily. America looks at me like, look at this black woman. Who does she think she is? And yes, I have to prove who I am every time I show up. Do I ask you for a handout? No. And do you give me one? No. So where are we going with this? So today I'm going to leave off with a great show. Sorry we were late. We were out in the streets doing God knows God's work and making it happen. Thank you to Darius Mayfield. Good luck to him next Tuesday. Vote, vote, vote. Don't vote down. Stop and ask yourself who is running and look into them. Look into what their policies are. Look at what they want to do in your community. We have to change, people. We cannot stay the same. We cannot be the only, even the migrants are coming over because they want change. We cannot stay the same while everything builds up around us. That's my show for today, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jania Butler, the New American Perspective, and I am a citizen. I'll see you next week with our new president. Look forward to talking with you.
What are you talking about?
Uh-huh. Blowing up. Hair getting sweaty.
How are you doing? You didn't take my coffee?
I was, my hair got all hot.
Oh, okay. Is it real hair? I'm just, I don't know, man.
Yes.
Oh, you know,
I'm the queen.
I know you're the queen.
So queen can't be rocking no hair. You get it one day. Hold on, I gotta cool down. I know they can hear me. Hello, mother.
No one hearing.
They hear me.
No
Watch,
one hearing.
watch. You gonna call. Whew.
No one hearing.
Oh man.